a little bit louder. Nelanda. Hello, everybody. Here we come. We're coming. I think we're coming. Oh, yeah. Oh,
there we are.
Hello. There we are.
Hello.
I'm trying to find ourselves today.
What a day. What a day. I have had quite a day.
We have had quite a day.
Oh, my goodness.
Had quite a week.
Quite a week. I've
been feeling it.
That's the way it is lately.
Yeah,
that's the way it has been since 2020. March 2020 coronavirus.
This is a little more excessive.
It has been.
It's been a little bit busy. Back and forth to Syracuse. You back and forth to work every day. We've got a lot going on.
We got a lot. You know what? It takes a lot to be a pastor's wife.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the church yet. We talk about this other stuff.
It takes a special woman. Believe me.
We hadn't even gotten into the church stuff that's been going on yet. But thank God. We're glad to be here. Thank God.
Thank God.
Everything that is going on, that He is taking us through, that He is finding the answers for. God is good.
God is good. God is good.
Somebody had surgery yesterday. I heard everything went well. Thank God for that. A few other things that have been going on, throughout the week. But God is still good. So we're grateful to be here. Grateful to have the opportunity to be here with you.
Yes.
Once again. This is David and Pam Stewart. And we are here with conversations with Pam and David. We're happy to have this opportunity.
Yes, I'm happy.
Right?
I'm happy to just sit down.
Yeah. Well, you've been sitting down, but not like this.
No, I'm happy to sit down.
Sitting down like this.
Driving, yes. I am happy to have this moment where I can
have a moment.
Catch my breath.
You got a moment. You got like adrenaline going on.
Yes, I do.
But when you sit down, when you truly sit down, you're going.
I'm going to really sleep.
Gone.
Yeah. Yes.
Getting ready for Mother's Day tomorrow. It's Mother's Day weekend.
Mother's Day weekend.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes,
we are
happy
very
Mother's
happy
Day.
for you. At our church this weekend, we are having a Ladies' Day.
Yes, we are.
So not just moms, but Ladies' Day.
Exactly. You know something? We celebrate Mother's Day. But there are a lot of women that actually did not give birth to a child, but they have mothered.
Oh, yeah.
Not every woman that has a child is a mother.
Well, that's true.
It takes mothering and nurturing to be an actually good mother.
I think nurturing is a good word there.
Yes, exactly. And let's give it some compliments and a hand clap for the women that have stood in the gap of mothers.
I think that's
they're mothers too. There's auntie mothers, there's stepmothers, they're godmothers. My godmother, Dr. Land.
Who's on, yeah.
Who's on,
Dr.
is
Land.
she? Yes.
We saw you.
So there are all kind of mothers. There's stepmothers,
Dr.
they're foster mothers.
Angie Cribb is on as well.
Yes.
Hello. I think that word nurturing is really important. I think
it's very important.
It's a good question for us to throw out to people while you're thinking about this or we're talking about this. What is it that makes a good mother?
What makes a mother? Yes.
What is it that makes, what value, what attribute, if you have something that comes to mind that specifically ties back to you as to this was a really great mom or my mom or somebody else's mom that you knew, shout out to us, send us a message. We want to talk about it.
Exactly.
This is Mother's Weekend.
Yes.
Hey, Hamelin. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Hamelin.
Good to see you on as well. Yeah, she had a really good mother too.
Yes, she did.
And so, whatever it is that ties, connects you. Maybe that's because they were a good cook. My mother was a good cook.
Yeah, my mom was a good cook too. And my mom was an excellent mom. You had a good mom, you are blessed.
And there's certain things that tie into memories, smells, situations, caricature, there are things that really stand out in terms of relationships with a really good mom.
Yes.
So love to hear what you guys think makes for a good mom, and the things that you remember, if you remember something about your mom. You can always call us too, by the way, if you want to talk about it. Love to hear your story. If you have a story about your mom that really resonates with you, like to share it, the number, it's on our line in the comments right now, right at the top. You can give us a call, 951-799-9032, or you can just pop in a comment if there's something that you want to share about.
Yes.
So,
I brought that topic up because I myself don't have I didn't give birth to any children, any natural children, but I have nurtured more children, more young people than a woman's body could ever do. You know, I have nurtured, I have children, young people, students that have actually gone on and graduated high school and gone on to college because of my nurturing.
One that's graduated, just graduated this week?
I've got 2 or 3 that are graduating this week. And some of these children are the least of these, the least children that you would think would be capable of actually graduating and being successful and going on to college and graduating. That is nurturing.
Right.
That is mothering. Yeah.
You know, with teachers, it's very common, you know, when you have good teachers, not all of them, but there's certain ones that really resonate. I remember my daughters had a music teacher, Miss Ranaletta here in Greece, and she had such an impact on them. And not only them, she used to actually have annually her kids come back to do a concert. And these are kids that went on to Broadway and all kind of things.
Yeah, your daughter's on Broadway.
Right. Yes. And even before, when she was in school, they were coming back, Broadway students and kids and things like this that had been successful, but they would come back for her, for her annual thing. And she would go, when my daughter first did her first Broadway lead, Miss Ranaletta and her husband actually drove down. They just found out about it. They drove down to New York City and were there for her opening night. And so that bond, you know, is more than just, like you said, physical, natural.
Right.
And I go back again to that word nurturing.
Yes.
Because there's something that you pour into those children that it not only changes them, but it resonates with them as being a sense of normal, a sense of being mothered.
Yes, exactly.
It impacts their character.
It really does. It really does. You know, I raised my niece, who is now a nurse practitioner, and I asked her what does she remember about me when I was raising her and when she was growing up, what impacted her? She said that she remembered, here in children's, in young people's term, she said, you were getting it. She said, that's what she remembers. She remembers me working. She remembers me working and going to college. She remembers me working, going to college and owning my own home. So she actually was inspired by what I poured into her. Yes. Yeah. So I actually mothered and nurtured her.
Right.
So I'm a mom too.
So again, shout out to all the moms, shout out to all the ladies.
Yes.
Now we started this by saying this weekend at our church, we're not just doing a mother's weekend, we're doing a ladies weekend.
Yes.
We are celebrating all the moms for who they are. But you know, you have to become a good lady in order to be a good mom.
Right.
Right. You know, you have to have that character as a mother before you have that character as a wife, before you have that character as a mother. And so we want to not only celebrate our ladies, but even our young ladies.
Yes.
Because you want them young to start thinking of themselves as being that kind of a lady. Not just a girl, not just a whatever, but, you know, somebody in that character and growing up in that character. So we're celebrating them all this year and excited about being able to do that. And we shout that out again to all the ladies, all those virtuous women, as the Bible talks about, who are carrying character, exemplifying character, and helping to pass that character on to others.
Yes.
So still waiting to hear from y'all. Y'all real quiet. I guess nobody feels like talking or calling or typing.
And it's very true. It takes a village.
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a child.
It does, because children need reinforcement. I mean, they hear one message from their parents, and then they hear other messages, especially because you notice, especially when they get out of the house.
Yes.
As long as they're in the house, they're like all up on you. That's all they know, right? In pre-elementary, early elementary school, again, the primary focus of respect and understanding and learning is their parents, and it starts becoming the teacher. And they hit middle school, and it's like everybody but their parents.
Yes.
Every other child knows better than your parents do.
Exactly.
Right? And all of a sudden, you know, they're getting all this influence from outside. And it does take a village, because they need confirmation of what they've been told and what has been shared.
Exactly. They do. They need that confirmation. They need that reinforcement. because the outside world will tell them differently, will tell them negative things. Yep. So you have to find that nurturing somewhere. And
they test the boundaries.
Yes.
And they test their limits, and they test what else they hear.
They do.
So you say you shouldn't be out after dark.
Right.
And they're like, every other kid around me I know is out after dark. Yes. Or they say they're out after dark even though they're not. Right. And so they're testing boundaries. Who's really truth in my life? Right. Who understands me the best? Who's going to help guide me to what I figure out who I am.
Right.
And so when they get confirmation, this is one of, again, the good reasons for church. Because when you have good people at church of same character,
right,
then they reinforce the message. Not only does Johnny hear it from mom and dad, but Johnny hears that same message when he comes to church.
Exactly.
From a Sunday school teacher, from his pastor, from other parents.
Right.
They told you can't run, you can't run, right? You don't climb that. No, you shouldn't be climbing
exactly.
that. When you have that kind of consistency, even in the house between husband and wife, you need that consistency in order, because they will test between the two. So you need that consistency in order to help confirm to them, if you go to one, say, can I stay up till 9 o'clock tonight? And they say no. So you go up to the other one, say, can I stay up till 9 o'clock tonight? And they're like, sure you can.
So who do you think they will listen to?
They'll listen to one they want to hear.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But they need that consistency to help them to understand no is no and yes is yes.
Yes.
Here's your boundary. So much of it is about understanding the boundaries of your life.
Yes.
So again, happy Mother's Day to all.
Yes.
And hope you enjoy the weekend wherever you are. Hope somebody celebrates you. If nobody celebrates you, we celebrate you.
Yes.
Know that you are celebrated for everything and every effort, every sacrifice that you put forth. So I want to talk about a couple things here. We may go a little short because we both are tired.
We are tired.
And we got stuff coming up, and y'all not responding to us. So we might as well be going anyway.
And when we're off of the show, that's just one part of the day.
Right,
we still have things that we need to take care of.
I'm getting the attitude now because ain't nobody saying nothing. Nobody working with us here. So okay, fine. We'll just do our own thing, right?
Yes.
Go play with the dog. I don't know. A couple things that we have up today. It's been a kind of a calm week, relatively speaking, but there's a few things that are happening. First of all, it's not even up there. We started hearing from Donald Trump again. Remember him? That guy? Do you know his name?
I would like to forget.
Donald Trump is starting to come up, rise up again, and he has a couple things associated with him. First of all, he was rejected again by Facebook.
Yes.
Facebook has made his ban permanent. And that was by what they call this outside oversight group that they passed it to, so they don't have to be blamed. Of course, I'm sure the oversight group is half of them anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, they decided to ban him again, or permanently, or until they decide look at it again. Which of course makes him all that much more upset.
Yeah,
starts lashing out that much more at them. There are actually laws going in certain states, Republican states right now, where they want to penalize any social media groups that restrict things going out on their social media.
Right.
And so the states, the federal government is not causing restrictions, but the states that are Republican based are threatening them. If you keep censoring people from your social media, we're going to fine you thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. I'm sure that's going to go into litigation, and they'll have to go up to the Supreme Court on that one, if they really try and pursue that. But they banned Donald Trump. Donald Trump now is starting his own thing.
Right. And see, and this is something else. Facebook does not want to be responsible for number 45. Promoting his own agenda and opinion, which is what he will do.
Well, it's funny because right before, like the day or so before that decision this week, they had, he started going back and forth with somebody in the Congress about the big lie again. I forget her name. It's Cheney. Yeah, I think it's Cheney's daughter. Yeah. Yes. So in the House of Representatives, again, they start up this thing about the big lie, and the big lie has to do with the election being stolen.
Yes.
And so he pumps back out again, complaining about this whole thing again, and its legitimacy on his own new network. He has out of his out of his website,
yes,
he is posting like a podcast where now he can say whatever he wants because it's on his thing.
Right.
People can take from that supposedly and share from that on their own Facebook pages. So that's a workaround that they're working on. They may still get blocked, you know, but not directly like him. But so he has his own way now of working his own communication system to get out to his people. And, you know, so they started this just like the day or so before, they started this backlash about the big lie again. So what do you expect? I mean, they start up again the same thing that they took him off for before. And now he starts the day before they make the decision. So they make the decision. No, exactly. You gotta stay off because he hasn't changed. Right. So you got those things coming up with Donald Trump starting to raise up. You have some interesting stories going on out there as well on the Biden side, not surrounding Joe Biden, but his son, Beau. And I don't even know if I want to get into it yet because it's not, I don't think it's been really evaluated, but there's some real interesting and not good stories coming out about Beau Biden. And that could be a backlash to Joe, right? Depending on where it goes. So, you know, and it's a shame because people will use anything they can find against you.
Anything, right?
Everything that's going on with Beau has nothing to do with Joe Biden. But they will do everything they can to tie it back to him, right? And make it seem like he's a bad person because of whatever mistakes his son may have made. So it's just the way of politics these days. People will use anything and everything against you. It's an ugly, ugly time to be in politics.
Yes.
So let's talk about coronavirus because there's you know, it seems like we're getting better, but there's a lot of question as to what may be coming up. And I think it's really important for us to kind of talk about some of what's happening and what isn't happening here. On the larger side of things, the rates are coming down a lot, right? Which is good, coming down across the whole country. When you look at New York State, we're really showing a lot of improvement. Things are coming down. And, you know, New York State is about to open up a lot of things. New York City is about to open up a lot of things in the New York City area, the stores. They're talking about opening up again, Broadway and all these kind of things. So there's a lot of positive things going on. Even Michigan, which had probably the worst thing going on as of rates, it's going down as well. So they had their huge surge. Things are coming under control. Combination of people who've been vaccinated, people who have already had COVID and have some protection that way. You know, all these things are having an impact, and we're past spring break. All these things have had an impact. The question is, what remains in the future? By the way, current status right now, India is the place that is really suffering right now.
Yes.
Should I be able to get that? Why aren't you showing that?
Not showing.
I'll get it. We'll get it. Oh, okay. I got to use it right, and then it gives me the right stuff. But India, I want to show you right now, is the place. Look at this surging in India. I was actually talking because I was concerned. I sent a message to a person I work with. It's a friend of mine we worked with for a while, but he's actually a customer of mine in India. And I sent him a message like saying, "Hi, how's it going? I keep hearing all these things about what's happening there." And we've talked in the past about where things were and how they were handling it and how they go about the approach, which has been obviously very successful for them in the past, but now it is completely out of control. The concern had always been if it truly got into some of those lower class, highly concentrated areas, that it could be a real problem and spread really fast.
Yes.
If you've seen some of the stories, they're horrid. I don't even want to describe the things that are happening there with the death rates that are going on. But up to nearly 400,000. India right now alone makes up for almost half of the COVID cases in the world. Almost half of them are coming from India alone right now. So that's how bad it is. The reason this is important to us is because, as we've learned in the past, the more rampant the virus is, the more variants that come as a result of that. It's just a matter of odds, right? It's like lotto tickets, right? The more you buy, the more odds you have of winning. The more cases that you have, the more opportunities to have variants show up. And the real concern right now is if this isn't controlled, you see a couple commercials say, well, if it's not controlled everywhere, it's not controlled, right? We're not all safe until we're safe everywhere. Because regardless of whether this is an entirely different country, we've seen already how variants will start in in England or British, in England, and then or Italy, in South Africa, yes. And these variants end up here inherently. Mm-hmm. So if this allows for these variants to continue to develop, the variants typically will get worse and worse, or more dangerous. Mm-hmm. And while we think we're okay right now because of where we're at and the improvements that we're seeing, we could still be in a world of hurt coming up, because this increases the odds of new variants that we can't control, mm-hmm. circling back around, and this whole thing could potentially start over again. Somebody said it this way: COVID-20, right? Instead of COVID-19, there could be a COVID-20, and this whole thing could start over again. So are we out of the woods completely? No. Mm-hmm. We are in much better shape here in the United States for now, and several other parts of the world, especially the industrial parts of the world. But if we don't get control of this across the board, mm-hmm. it could be problematic for everyone again. So mm-hmm. in the meantime, here in the United States, our cases are gone down. We're doing well, but our vaccination rates have also gone down. Look at this. People were getting vaccinated, and now it's going way down. We were at peaking over 4 million shots a day, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And now we're down closer to 2 million. We've gone from having a high demand for vaccination, more than we had available vaccine. Mm-hmm. So high demand versus supply, right, to now having high supply versus demand. Right. We've got way more vaccines out there than we have people that want to take them. Right. And so the people that wanted to take them within, this first period of time, most of them, a large portion of people who are willing to take and want to take it have taken them. Right. And now they're just, what we're seeing is still second shots, right? Mm-hmm. Let me show you this. Right now, almost 50%, 45% of the entire population, this includes kids now, it used to only include the adults, but mm-hmm. now for everybody, it's about 325 million or so, 330 million Americans, including kids. 45% have had the first dose. Right? Mm-hmm. Second dose is 31. The second dose used to be less than half of the first dose. It's drawing closer because this gap is closing, because the people that are getting their shots now are the people who are getting their second shot, not more people getting their first shot. Yes. So it's slowing down. And the question is, how far will we get? How many people will eventually get vaccinated? It looks like it may be 60% at the most, because and they're doing everything they can now to try and make it easy and convince people. Right. In some states, they're actually giving them money to take the vaccine. Other states are setting it up like at baseball games. While you're here, have a hot dog, get a shot. So they got all kind of gimmicks now that they're building in to try and get people to take this shot. Wow. And that's the positive side. The negative side is to force people. And so as time is going to go on here, we've been saying this for a long time. Are they going to make it mandatory? They're closing in on it in several ways. We don't have the lights on, we're in the dark here. Because we're tired. We don't even know what's going on. We're just okay. But they're starting, you're hearing, first of all, at most of the colleges, especially private ones, they're announcing now. RIT just announced here. U of R announced a while back, a couple other local ones, that in order to come to school in the fall, you're going to have to be vaccinated. Exactly. Right? You have to show vaccination. Mm-hmm. They're starting to wean it into things like, okay, we're going to open up and have baseball games again. You can go to baseball, but you got to be vaccinated. You have to be vaccinated. Now saying, okay, you don't have to be vaccinated. This cracks me up. I was telling somebody the story today. Right now in the baseball field here, just to announce, okay, we're going to have a vaccinated and a non-vaccinated section. Right. So in the vaccinated section, you can sit right next to each other. Right. In the non-vaccinated section, 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart. Now, here's the kicker. They showed the diagram of what the park is going to look like, the field is going to look like. And it's kind of like this V diamond shape. Mm-hmm. And so the whole center part of it, all the way down the side, right to the edges, is the space for all the vaccinated people. And then you have 2 little spots on the side about this big. And that's for the non-vaccinated people who have to be 6 feet apart.
Right.
So there's less people you can put in their spots.
Right.
And they got like this fraction, by the way, on the very outside ends. Oh, it's cracked me up. I'm like, they are trying to force these people to get them. You can come, we'll make a spot for you, but they're going to give you like a tiny fraction of the park way out on the edges.
Right.
And everybody else is for vaccinated people.
Right. And if you want this job, you'll have to be vaccinated.
Jobs,
if you want to fly, if you want to travel, if you want to enter this airport or this airplane, you must show us proof.
Buses, trains,
of your vaccination.
All public transportation.
Exactly.
Right. You can be sure that now that they have a surplus and you have the opportunity and you're choosing, they're going to start forcing you
going to be mandatory
to take it. Right. Now the reason they're trying to rush, you get this, how they're trying to rush through approval for kids, right? They've got the 12 to 15s on Pfizer. They're looking at 6 to 12 next. And they're trying to get these approvals through quickly so that, again, they can make them available to the children during the summer so that by the fall, they'll be able to say, hey, to come back to school, you're going to have to be vaccinated.
Yes.
And so they are definitely pushing this. And I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm not taking the opinion to say,
but this is
shit, but I'm telling you,
this is the reality.
Right? They're doing everything they can to push this on people. And that's going to squeeze, is going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. They actually in this state made an offer to some of the restaurants. They said, okay, you can go up to 100% capacity if you check for vaccinations before they come in and say you have to be vaccinated to come in. So they're putting the leverage pressure on them. Okay, you want to fill up your place again. You want to make that money? All you got to do is tell people they have to be vaccinated to come in. They can't make them do it, but they can give them that carrot. And so there's all these, I'll call them tricks, leverages, weights, whatever, that are being put on and will be put on as time goes on to push people to get vaccinated.
Yes.
And eventually it will be mandatory. I mean, the public schools, if they don't do it think about it. You have to be vaccinated now to go to public school.
Well, yeah, actually, some of the schools actually started. Everyone that wants to be there are back in school.
Right.
And they are suggesting that the staff have vaccinations. And they are also providing vaccinations for the students. But their parents have to
it's all still voluntary.
It's voluntary, right.
But I want to think about it. I mean, right now to go to public school.
They make it very, very convenient for them.
But I'm saying before you get into COVID.
Right.
Everybody now has to be vaccinated for tuberculosis, for
anyway.
polio, mumps. They're already required. You are already required to be vaccinated. They just had a big thing a couple of years ago because in New York City, the Jews don't necessarily believe, the Orthodox Jews don't necessarily believe in being vaccinated. And they were trying to force them to be vaccinated to go to school. There are state laws right now that require you to be vaccinated before you go to any public school. This is going to be added to that list. So don't understand, it's not like it doesn't exist already.
Right.
They're going to just add this into that. It will happen.
Exactly. It's like we have to have
measles, kind of weird here.
Measles, mumps, rubella shots.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And so this is the same thing. It's just happening in our era. It's happening now. Same difference.
Look at that. We got light.
And then there was light.
Come out of the darkness.
We've come out of the darkness into the marvelous light.
Marvelous light. It's marvelous now. It looks so much better.
Yes.
So, I mean, so these things are reality. They're happening right now. And so it is going to continue to happen. So whether it's good or whether it's bad, I think it's kind of good in the long run. But
get ready.
It's a push that people are going to be very uncomfortable with because they feel like they're being forced into it.
Yes.
But it's a reality of what's happening right now. So get ready as we get in the fall. It's going to happen. I think in the long run, it puts us in a better place to be vaccinated than to be non-vaccinated. We're having a conversation earlier today with some people who had some impacts from the vaccine, from the shots.
Yes.
And some of them, in one case, was pretty significant. In other cases, fairly mild. It's all over the place. But one thing I said to them, I said, if you had this kind of reaction to the shot, imagine what kind of reaction you would have had to the virus.
Yes.
Because it's just a foreshadowing, right? The vaccine and your response to the vaccine just ties into your body's response to this foreign being there. This isn't the vaccine isn't this virus trying to actually attack you. It's your body's response that you're feeling. Right. So imagine your body being responding like that on top of this actual virus trying to eat you up.
Yeah.
So whatever response you had from the vaccine, you can assume it would have been more severe from the virus itself. So thank God, and even people who do still test positive afterwards, because you can come in contact with it still.
Right.
And you can test positive, but most of them are asymptomatic. They don't even know it. They don't feel it. So it really, in the long run, is a good thing. A lot of people have to adjust. Very nervous about the science, how it was happening, what people have done with it, how it may have been twisted or misused.
Yes.
But in the long run, I think it really is better for us. So we're going to talk about one more thing, and then we're going to call it. Our time is almost up anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Time is moving. But we wanted to talk about Derek Chauvin again. I'm sorry to mention the name, but go back here again. But his first appeal has come up, as we expected it would. He started raising an appeal, saying, first of all, that the trial was unfair because of all the politics, all the things that were in the news and media, et cetera, so forth, going around. He said there's no way you can possibly get a fair trial in the midst of all that, right? So that was the first argument. And then it came out that one specific juror that was tied to the case actually was identified as having been wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt prior to this at a rally for Martin Luther King, celebration of Martin Luther King's march on Washington, D.C. He participated in that march. He had a Black Lives Matter shirt on. And so they're saying, look, this guy was biased. He lied. He's way more in favor. The truth of the matter is he told them at the time that he did support Black Lives Matter, right? I think the question asked him was, had he ever supported a Black Lives Matter rally
or event?
Right. Okay. And he had said, no, this was not a Black Lives Matter rally. It was a Martin Luther King celebration rally that he was at with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt
on. Okay.
And so that's their argument, though, again, for an appeal. So,
well, this was such a high-profile case. The world saw Derek Chauvin. I hate to keep saying it, with his knee on George Floyd's neck. Everyone saw it. I don't see how you could have avoided not knowing anything. Right. I mean, you have to know something about this case.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I mean, it's kind of like, there are some cases like that. They're so public, and there is a question oftentimes, can you get a fair trial, right? The assassination of John F. Kennedy, or any of the Kennedys, or Martin Luther King, with these public figures and these dramatic cases.
Yes.
Can you I mean, they say they found the guy and like he's guilty before anything else happens, right? It's hard to really think that people are truly unbiased based on everything they see and hear. But that's a reality of doing these cases. Does that mean that he had a biased case or biased trial? I don't think so, because I think in this case, the evidence was there.
Yeah,
and this is really clear to see and judge based on evidence.
Well, you know what? Laws are changing because of this case. Policing and reform is taking place because of this case. So, I mean, that is very significant.
Very impactful.
Very impactful.
And by the way, the other part of this is that, the federal government now is coming in with federal charges against him and 3 of the other officers that were there. Number 1, for excessive force, and number 2, for violating the civil rights of George Floyd. So they make it a federal case by making a civil rights issue, whereas he had certain rights that they're saying were violated based on the way he was treated. And so now we'll get to see what happens on the federal side of this, The rumor was that they were ready to charge when the decision came down.
Exactly.
And that
the feds were ready.
The feds are ready.
They were ready.
And if he was going to be found not guilty, they were going to sweep in
right then
and charge him.
Yes.
I think because they were afraid, they want to keep the calm down with the crowds. They knew if he was found not guilty, it would have just been.
Yes.
So they would have immediately taken him into custody to show that, wait a minute, he's not just getting off. So y'all hold back.
Yes. Yes.
I think that because that didn't happen, they waited to continue working on their case.
Right.
I think they were going to do it, planning on doing it. They would have rushed it, but they'd rather wait. And so now they're starting their case out publicly as well. So that's going to be another interesting one to see.
Yeah.
All of these things, all these different cases coming from all these directions help set precedents.
Exactly.
And that's why they're each important. It's not as important that, for example, Derek Chauvin get more years because of X, Y, and Z. It's more important that we define where the gray zone ends, where the line is. You cannot do this to someone.
This is not acceptable.
This is okay. It's permissible under certain circumstances. This is really like you said earlier, the case that happened. This case is setting precedents in law.
Exactly.
Because the case has put a line in to say, this level of behavior is unacceptable.
This level of force.
Right.
Right.
And as a result of that, now you're setting laws based on that alignment of precedents.
Exactly.
And so again, on the civil rights aspect of it, you'll go back to the same thing. Excessive force, how far is too far?
Right.
Is the chokehold too much? We've seen so many of these examples. Some of them made it to court, some of them didn't.
Right.
Somebody dies from a chokehold, somebody dies from this. People getting shot. If you get shot in the back or the head,
right.
Is that allowable? All these things are in the gray zone of, wait a minute, when is this permissible and when is it not?
Right. I don't see him getting off.
Well, I don't either.
I don't. I think, but like I said,
I think he's one of those that's clearly on the other side.
He's clearly on the other side. But his defense team, they're doing what they should be doing. They should do what they're doing their job.
So if Derek Chauvin's behavior in this case becomes the point on this side and say this is definitely on this side of the line. Now you got all these next gradients.
Right.
If this is not acceptable, does that mean this isn't acceptable? How about this? What about if this happens? All that goes back to setting where this line is.
Right.
And so you'll see these other cases that get tested.
Right.
Again, to say, okay, he didn't do quite what Chauvin did, but they did this, right? They didn't do this, but they did that, right? And so they'll keep putting these before courts to try and define the scope, and as they continue to do that, they can continue to adjust laws,
right?
Because laws now clearly indicate through the judges that this is not permissible. This shouldn't be done.
It's going to change. Okay. It's going to change laws and policing as well. I understand that there is another charge that is going to be brought against Chauvin for a similar situation with a teenager.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So this is something that there were some things that happened with George or with Chauvin that they could not bring into this case. However, when it goes to the next level, these are some things that they will be able to bring in. They will be able to say that, well, did you know George Floyd? Did you work with George Floyd? So,
I think
they couldn't do that before.
Well, not to that specific case.
Right.
It'll tie to the next specific
It'll tie
case.
to the next one because it makes a point.
Right. But I think this other thing that just came up with Andrew Brown is another one of these cases that really is going to be a testing point. Andrew Brown is the one that was, they went to do a search warrant on him, and he drove his car out. And as he was going away, they shot him in the back of the head. I think that's another test case that's going to come up to say, now, this is North Carolina. They haven't released all the video footage yet. It's still kind of wrapped up. When this comes out in the full story of what happened, it's going to be another testing case of where do you go too far?
Where do you go too far?
Justification is the question. And a lot of it seems to, at this point, seems to tilt on if his car was a weapon that he was trying to use to run them down, or whether he was just trying to escape because he was already feeling pressure. That's going to have a lot to do with the precedence of how this case comes out.
Yes, I'm waiting to hear more and see more. I understand, well, they haven't really brought it out yet, but it will also be discussed what happened before they went to arrest him.
Right.
What was said amongst the officers?
And what did he do? What did they do?
What did they say before they even went to arrest him? So there's some things that I understand that probably did take place that needs to be brought out. That will probably eventually be brought out. They won't discuss everything right away because it's going to court.
Right.
Yes.
So this is definitely one to watch. I think this is going to be the next very serious case. And then we know there's other things that are going on. Michaela Bryant, several others that are going on, but I think this Andrew Brown one is going to be one to watch because I think it's really going to be another one of these precedent-setting cases.
Yeah, there's another case, the Ahmaud Arbery case. That is going to be interesting because they're being charged with a hate crime because they use the N-word. And also now there's not just the father and the son that are being brought to court, that charges are against. It's also the person that videotaped. The actual incident. Right. So, he's more or less like he was in on the situation.
Well, that's one where they're claiming, that they were trying to do a citizen's arrest. Right. So again, there's precedents around that. Under what conditions can you do that? Can you not do that? Boom, boom, boom. So all these things speak to a defining where the lines are in law. And so that makes them all very powerful to see.
Yes.
So we'll be watching for all of these. So, we made it to 8:52. We are both very tired. Still got to get ready for tomorrow. Great Mother's Day coming up. So I think we're going to wind this down just a little bit early because I feel my eyes closing.
And I'm hungry.
And she's hungry. I got food in there for you, baby.
Thank you, darling.
So Mother's Day, again, happy Mother's Day to all those out there. If you're in Rochester, we invite you to come and connect up with us at the church. See, my eyes are like, oh, they're doing this thing. We are going to have a lot of fun. We got some great things for all the ladies. So if you want a place to go tomorrow for Ladies' Day, you can join us at Destiny Preparation.
Yes, stop by Tondaleo.
Stop by, and we're going to have a great time there, 11:30. We'll be on live stream, and we'll probably let it go a little bit longer so y'all can see some of the stuff that's going to happen, because some of it's going to happen at the end of service. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We'll have a good time. We're going to celebrate. So tomorrow, 11:30. This next week we are taking off. I'm going to be off next Wednesday. And we're going to be off next Saturday. So next week, y'all got to live without us. I'm sorry. If you want, I'll play something or repeat or something. But next week on Wednesday, Bible study, we're taking off. On Saturday night, we're taking off. We're going headed to town to see one of our other mothers in New York City. And we will be back for next Sunday. But during the week, we're getting out of here. We need to.
we need a break.
So join with us tomorrow morning for a service, and then we will be back again next Sunday. There'll be something on, I think, on Friday night as well. So there's a little something for you. But until next time, God bless everybody. Hope you have a good day tomorrow. Hope you have a great weekend, a great week, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.
We serve a holy God. We serve